Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. And today I'm joined with my good friend Dubul Dee. Dubul Dee, how's it going, bro? Welcome to the show.
All right, just about. Liverpool are stressing me, but we got to press on us. We got to press on.
Listen, man, I've been hibernating a lot in the last 2-3 weeks, man. It's not been easy
I can't
being a
blame
Liverpool
you,
fan, you know.
I can't blame you.
I think all of us Liverpool fans just want to hide under a rock right now. But we got as content creators, we got to still come in front of the camera.
Still got to put stuff out, innit? Still got to put things out, vent and all that. You get me? So, boy.
Yeah, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
What we'll do, I feel like obviously we will be doing a match preview today, but I feel like there's so much going on surrounding the club that we have to touch on it, unfortunately. So let's talk about the breaking news that took place last night. So that was Liverpool. I don't know if it's been confirmed, so correct me if I'm wrong, Dubul Dee, but we are close to signing 30-year-old Japanese international defensive midfielder Endo from Stuttgart.
Yeah.
So it's not been confirmed. I believe he's having a medical today. That's the
close. He'll probably be unveiled tomorrow or Saturday.
Saturday, exactly.
Yeah,
so, firstly, do you know much about the player? And secondly, what do you make of this signing?
I've seen him a few times, one or two times for Stuttgart, but that's been more games against like Bayern and Dortmund when they've been beaten. Yeah. So you're not like sitting there and thinking, wow. But he was good in the World Cup. I watched all Japan's game in the World Cup. He was good in the World Cup. He can play centre back as well. And to be honest, he's looking at his stats in terms of tackles won, ball recoveries, interceptions, and last season I think he got 5 goals and 4 assists in a team that struggled for the most part of the season. So he's done a little bit. So if we got that return if we got 5 goals from all of our midfielders,
it's not bad.
We'd have at least one more league title. You know what I'm saying? The goals from midfield are lacking with us. So he's a good player. The age will have confused a few people in terms of the fact we've targeted Sachado, 21, Lavia 19. But I actually do think if this signing had happened early in the window, sandwiched between McAllister and Szoboszlai, no one would have really had an issue with it. But it's because of the fact it's come so deep into the window now after you've not been able to get Sachado and Lavia. And then it seems like you were willing to put up 111 for Sachado, and now you're spending about 16, maybe 17 million on a 13-year-old. He only has 1 year left. So we're overpaying by a couple of million, but Stuttgart know we've got money because of what's happened with the other players. You get me? So I actually think he's gonna do a job. I think it's going to be a job for the fact we're in the Europa League as well, rather than the Champions League. I actually think that it's going to be a decent signing, but we have to get another midfielder, regardless of whether that gets tied up or not. And what's going on with the defender issue? And we've still not got a homegrown. We've still not got a homegrown player in, and like the window, like there's not long left in the window at all.
It's like we've still got Phillips, haven't we? He's still there, but he's most likely to leave. So that's another homegrown player gone.
Yeah, exactly. The way we've treated that Phillips, though, man, come on, man. It's like, we'll let you go. We overpriced him when other teams wanted him. I think it was it Leeds at the start of the...
Yeah, so it was Leeds and another team as well. I don't remember now. But Leeds was strongly linked with them.
Yeah. And I think we priced him out of that because I think they were looking to only maybe pay about 8 mil, and I think we were trying to get somewhere between 10 to 15, and so priced him out of that. And look, when that season finishing second, right? So third, when we had all those injuries, him to a greater extent than Reece Williams, without the job that they did eventually when they came in, because we were playing Fabinho and Henderson as centre halves. Kabak played each part as well, though there was a couple of errors in there. We would not have finished third if it wasn't for what they did at the back. And Phillips weighed in with 1 or 2 goals as well. He's a colossal fool to set pieces. It's just he's great in the air. It's just on the deck, not as great. But saying that, he was turning mans at the San Siro. So
last time, I remember that.
That was pitch mans up at the San Siro. But so look, like it's been a crazy couple of weeks. Look, ever since the Hendo bid was coming in, I don't know what's gone on with the club. You've taken that Henderson money and Fabinho money, and the Fabinho deal. Some people were saying it was dogs that delayed him to move and all this nonsense. That deal,
That was not true.
from the point of us, like say, looking like we're accept to bid, that deal took about 2.5 weeks after that to materialize, maybe even closer to 3 weeks. And you're trying to tell me that they weren't scouting people properly in that time? Like, there's numerous DMs out there and central midfielders out there.
Yeah,
Like, just do the job. Like, I saw, it might have been someone on your feed. I saw someone from another Liverpool page that had us linked to a young Argentine, but I can't remember his name. And what I saw just looks the profile like a combative midfielder that can also drive forward as well. And Endo can drive forward. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Is it Medina?
But is it Medina? I can't remember what he said. It might have been.
He plays in France. He plays for Lens. But he's
no. He plays no. This player plays in Argentina.
Oh, he plays in Argentina.
Yeah, he plays in Argentina. He's 20 or 21. I can't remember what his name is though. I'd have to search for our tweets. But yeah, he looks decent from what I saw. But when you see 2 or 3 compilation videos, they're meant to show them doing their best work. So you need to see them in a 90-minute match. But if we're gonna go young so the player has some form of sell-on value. Like whether it be a DM, we need a DM, but even box to box, look at Alcaraz at Southampton. What are our scouts doing that all these other teams are getting these people in and we're just sitting there? Like we need Michael Edwards and everyone else back. Like numerous people have left us in the last couple of years. So if this is what it's going to be like when Klopp has this much power and Schmacker is meant, well, it doesn't look like he's going to be there for a long period, then if this is what it's going to be like, we need to change it up real quick because he's not working. We're a laughing stock at the moment, man. And people used to be jealous of our recruitment. So I don't know what we're doing.
This is the problem I'm having. So, like you're saying, why are we not doing what the likes of Brighton and Benfica are doing, where they venture into the South American market, buy players between like 10, 15 million, that kind of price range.
Yeah.
Bring them over and then
sell them up for twice as much.
Yeah.
Sheer minimum.
And there's a lot of talent there. So I think there's one player right now for Boca. I think the move hasn't even been completed. It's Varela. So he's a defensive midfielder.
Oh, the left back. Yeah. Oh, midfielder. They want Brighton are getting a left back as well. And he's ginger.
Yeah.
So everyone's been making jokes about that.
But apparently Man City want him now. So they're trying to hijack that deal.
Yeah.
So he's only available for like 8 million. But that's what I'm saying. So there are so many players out there. City bought Alvarez from River Plate there last season. Do you understand? So there's so much talent there where, do you know what I think is with Liverpool? It's going to sound silly, but you know, we've bought South American players in the past.
Yeah.
And we've got burnt because there were players that came through. It took them like 2 years to even get a work permit and stuff. Now, obviously, things have changed in terms of like us like not being in the EU and stuff. So it's a bit easier to kind of acquire those players.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Like, it's like so obvious. Like, I've been going back and forth with people on Twitter where people are happy with us like identifying players, let them blossom for Brighton or for Crystal Palace, but then pay 3 times the price. Like, how does that make sense? Like,
it's like giving a trial. It's like they're giving them the trial run or whatever.
But what's the point of that? Because
you've got to be proactive.
We've got players that, for example, like Doucouré, who was strongly linked with, by the way.
Yeah.
From what I know, last year we were scouting him heavily. Like, we really wanted to sign him, but for some reason we just didn't want to go ahead with it. And apparently he was quite close to moving to PSG, but that move fell through. Yeah. So that's why Palace came in and got him for like 20 million. So fans are like, oh no, that's good because, you know, he's come to the Premier League, he's accustomed himself. He could have done that with us. Do you understand? So we're a team right now. Don't get me wrong, we're a Liverpool Football Club. We're a big club, but we don't act like a big club in terms of financially. We don't really like boss that market where we just splash the cash. Minus the Caicedo bid. I don't know what happened there. I think someone took John Henry's wallet or something.
Nah, it's because half of that money coming from the Saudi.
The Saudi. Half of that money came from there. It's true because before Fabinho and Henderson went, we were strongly linked with Lavia. So it would have been Fab, Hendo, and Fabio, and Lavia as well. So that would have been a 50 million player anyway. So
and the experience help him in. But look, the Lavia deal, from what I'm hearing, the Lavia deal was done, like in terms of like there's conversations with his camp and what he wanted to do, but we just didn't think that he was worth that 50 million. And then we want to come in, and then after having a couple of bids rejected, seeing that Chelsea going to put that up, and then we were going to put that up, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just thinking that, like, though, look, the DM market is just straight extortion, and now teams know that we've got money, right? They're going to book price Seaford up. I'm hearing Florentino Luis has got a release clause, but that's quite high. Paulina's
90 million.
Oh God, Paulina's back in I think light training, so he would be able to pass a medical if needed be. Again, 28. Why didn't we get him when he was there? There was talk of him back even around when we first got linked with Mateus Nunes, who I know has been your guy for time. You've been calling his name from before we were even linked with him. You get what? I'm starting to think you're on his payroll. You get me? But yeah, you've been calling his name on Twitter for time. But that's what the team needs, though. Someone like a ball carrier, pick the ball up, drive with it. Szoboszlai can do that now. McAllister to an extent could do that, but that's not his main, like his best attribute. Szoboszlai could do that, but it looks like we're going to use him in a multitude of positions, even against just like McAllister. But McAllister will cover the 6. Szoboszlai will never play at the 6. Even on Sunday against Chelsea, he was doing okay centrally, and then he kind of went into this inverted left role, and Szoboszlai did okay there as well. That's what you win the ball, drive. So what's happened to the there's no Kone and Thuram. Like we were heavy talk about them early in the window, and then since the under-21s, no one's talking. One of them picked up an injury though, didn't they?
Kone got injured.
It was Kone. Oh yes, so that will explain why there's no Kone talk, because Kone got injured. But Thuram.
But funny thing with Kone, he's back now. So he's doing light training now. Yeah. So apparently,
it was longer. I thought it was like he'd be out until like New Year Christmas.
Yes, that was the initial reaction, was that he's out for because of a knee injury. So they weren't sure. So they had to do a few scans. But apparently he's back in training now. So he is available. And from what I know, they were looking to, because they're in a financial situation where they need to make money. So I think he was available between 30 to 40 million. So that's our sweet spot right there. So I have no clue in terms of why we're not trying to go in for him. Like, he's a player that could play as a 6, can play further up top as an advanced 8 as well. So depending on what
we could get both of them. We could get both of them for like 35, 40 M's. We could get both of them.
Yeah.
And then at the back, I don't know who the homegrown player would be, which is what I believe Lavia would have ticked that box. So that makes me even more angry about that. But Ignacio has been linked, but that will be heavy money. Like, we knew we were not going to, Chelsea wouldn't sell us Colwell, so we were just in that. You get upset. I don't know what, like, I don't know what's going on with our recruitment, man. It's very messy right now. It's very messy.
Trust me. Like, I've been quite vocal about it. Like, I feel like for the last 2-3 years, especially last 2 years, predominantly, we've just been falling to pieces, in my opinion. Like, we're not operating like a big club. Like, literally, I described it as Zippo Circus, like the way we're operating right now, because it's actually crazy the way we're doing things right now. And it's like stupid things as well. Like, even if you have that kind of 100 million in the bank, why would you make a bid for a player like Caicedo, who we all know, it's public knowledge that he's a Chelsea fan, he wants to play for Chelsea.
But even saying that though, this is the thing. Maybe we thought we'll try a thing, because back in January he was twerking for Arsenal and came out with that statement about how
everyone, bro.
I'm the youngest of 802 siblings and all this. You get what I'm saying? Like, so where did he? He just wanted out of Brighton.
Yeah,
maybe he did that, preferred to be London or whatever. So yeah, but
I know. But I've seen videos of him saying he supports United. I've seen him talk about.
I heard somewhere someone say something about Portsmouth. I don't know how that would have come about, but I've heard Portsmouth as well as Chelsea and Man U. You get me? So
yeah, I feel wherever the wind blows, that's where he's going. But I don't know. Like, and then obviously the Lavia deal as well, which is ridiculous, because, like you said, we made a few bids. We didn't really think he was worth 50, but I think we went close enough to about 45. So you're thinking,
I think 46. I think the last one that got rejected was about 46. So realistically, Southampton could have taken that, but I think there's still a bit of bad blood from tapping up Van Dijk in Blackpool and that. You get me?
Tapping up all their players. But then we ended up agreeing a deal for 60 million in the end. Like, doesn't make sense
It doesn't
because
make
of the
sense, does
Chelsea
it?
interest,
You
right?
don't want to do it, then you see someone else wants him, so you decide to give them the money
You
that they
want
want.
it, right?
That should have been wrapped up. We paid him nice. We treated him like a backup dancer, man, and we got what we deserved to that. And Sachado, if he was meant to have been in London and said that he doesn't want to go to anyone other than Chelsea now anyway, because they were the ones that showed the first interest, etc., why are we going in? Because, like, look, release clauses can get activated and bids can be accepted, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the player has said that they want to come. Because look what's going on with Maguire now, for instance.
West Ham,
With United and West Ham, there's numerous varying things going on where players release clauses are being activated and players just refusing to go. Even Elise, Chelsea were trying to get Elise, and then now he's signed
4-year
they were
contract.
being accused of tapping him up, apparently. 4-year deal now, and I'm sure probably he's doubled his wages and they've probably doubled the release clause. So now teams are going to think twice before coming in, because I know City will have their look, because 35 is very, very that's standard price right about. When you think Anthony, that freestyler costs what, about 75 mil?
It cost more. I feel like it cost about 85. Same as Nunes, 85, but
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. You get what I'm saying? So Elise, like, assists, free kicks, just cultured on the ball and that, and like he's only going to improve, man. He's only going to improve. Yeah. So the market is just a mess, but so you just got to find a gem. You just got to find a gem out there, man. Even what's going on with Tyler Adams?
That's a funny one, because he felt he passed the medical. I was going to say he failed, but he didn't. He passed the medical, but then they just put him on the shelves. They're like, "Oh, we want to go for Lavin Caicedo." So
Chelsea pulled out, but I'm hearing Bournemouth. I heard something was going on with.
I think they activated the release clause, but like you just said a minute ago, just because you activate a release clause or you agree a fee with the club doesn't mean the player would like to join that club. Does that make sense? So
that's what I'm saying. Because everyone thinks now that if a team makes a bid, it's because they've already spoken to the players' camp. But I think people are getting confused when mainly Fabrizio Romano will tweet stuff like, personal terms agreement and whatnot. I just think 80% of that is just to get clicks. You sometimes, but more sporadic in terms to Fabrizio and all these other unknowns or ITKs that come on Twitter, right? Outside of the transfer, like the proper football journals and like transfer people like Fabrizio and that, you'll see them saying those type of things. But I just think it's an aim to be able to get clicks. But you get what I'm saying? Because you bid and it gets rejected. Like when started last season? Villa tried to get Ward-Prowse and all this, and then it gets rejected. Doesn't mean that the players definitely said they want to come, because then teams could get gone for tapping up, like what allegedly has happened here with Chelsea and Elise. So
Elise as well,
it's just a mess. Like, it's fun, but that's the way to get clicks at the moment, right? About Liverpool, they're linking Alisson to Saudi Arabia. They're linking Salah because of his tantrum when he came off on Sunday. So
lazy journalism, if you call it. So, so one of the talking points right now as well, because Endo is virtually going to be signed now, he's taken up a non-European spot within the squad. So we've only got one more, I think, that we can add. That's basically like a non-homegrown player. So I tweeted this earlier today where I feel like we shouldn't panic. And the reason I say we shouldn't panic is because let's say we sign someone the likes of Doucouré or Polinia, so they would take that final spot. I still want a centre back. So if we were to sign a centre back, it could be someone that's under 21. Because obviously it's within the age thing as well, isn't it? So even if he's homegrown or not homegrown, if he's under 21, he doesn't have to be registered. And also, looking forward, next summer, Matip is on the last year of his contract. He'll most likely go. Adrian, God knows why, but we've given him a year extra, so he'll leave next summer.
Must be good for the dressing room, boy.
He's there for vibes, clearly. And then Thiago, well, I don't want him to go. You know I'm a big fan of Thiago, but he's in his last year contract. So that's 3 non-homegrown players in terms of spots are available. So
I want Thiago to stay because he's the only midfielder currently at the club that's over 24 until this Endo deal gets done. You get what I'm saying? So I want him to stay for his ability, and obviously he's great. His English is great, so we can talk to. Communication's not going to be an issue there, but but look, Fabinho, there's a section of Liverpool fans that were all for it. Yeah, it's very split, like kind of close to a 50-50. But Fabinho, you can see there's been no concrete plan and no number one target like that,
No.
right? Fabinho should have been kept. Should have been kept. His first bad season at the club, and even he finished it well once he had extra legs in there, like Curtis Jones, because we were leaving him exposed a lot, right? So he was getting spun by defenders and looking really leggy, right? Should have kept Fabinho.
Yeah.
Should have kept it, because then it's all good taking the money and be like, oh yeah, we got money, but if you don't spend it, well, what's it done? Better the devil we know than the devil we don't know. Fabinho there, keep him in there. And the thing is, well, being in the Europa League, you won't have to go full pelt in the group stages like you would in Champions League, which would allow him to be more fresh for the league games. And I believe he would have had a solid season and then press on and then. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hurting my head, man. Sleepless nights again. You never think we won the league 3 years ago. Sleepless nights again.
That feels like a distant memory right now. So
we won just over a year ago. We were celebrating winning both domestic cup competitions.
We were close to getting a quad like a year ago.
We don't know if we that's what I'm saying to say. Lost by 1 point in the league and lost 1-0 in the final that we dominated, but Courtois made the saves, and then we got caught on the break, and and Madrid got their winner, and now look at us, finished fifth, and now we don't even know if we're gonna come in the top 4 this season. It's a mess.
I'm laughing, but inside I'm hurting. I'm like,
if you don't laugh, you'll cry, bro. You know? If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
I know it's a fact,
and this is why I've never ever in my life been too complacent, because you just got, if you win something, you got to be happy for that. Don't be doing it. I'm just in there hard, like pause every game. Like,
football's a cycle.
I take the 3 points. We've got 2 years. I take the 3 points because you don't know when that next defeat draw is going to come. So if we beat Bournemouth on the weekend, I'm going to celebrate like that, like a normal thing. You get me? So,
I mean, football's a cycle. You're not going to be dominant for every season. Obviously, Man City are probably ruining that for that saying, but not everyone wins every title or whatnot. So. Obviously, the English League is the most competitive league. But just to put you in a spot, if I said to you, look, we've got 70, 80 million to spend on a CDM, who would be your first choice?
Oh, two of them we've got. I would probably say those. I wouldn't say those 28 because I want some experience in there. I'll probably say Paulinho,
Yeah.
Because I believe, because that's a DM, even though he scored more goals last season than I thought he was going to, that's a DM, because the Kones and Charams to me are more like they can play in the 6, but I think you're limited them playing them there. I think that they'd be better as 8s, driving from the mid, winning balls and driving from the midfield. So right now, if what's left, I'd probably say Paulinho, because he's got a year under his belt in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, I agree. I know there's a lot of names that get thrown out, every day on Twitter. You come across a new name, but for me, it's between Doucouré and Paulinho. But I've been saying Paulinho for a while. I feel like what I saw him in the Fulham shirt, I feel like he looked assured, proper destroyer, but he can play as well at the same time. And the same with Doucouré. So for me, I'm not fussing between the two. I feel like they'll both do a job. I feel like fans need to kind of ignore the transfer fee now. It is what it is. Whatever we're going to pay, it's going to be an inflated price. So, if we can get a deal done for either of those players, I'm happy. I feel like they'll do a great job within our system.
Yep. I just think he can destroy and he'll sit, and he knows that he's not. Don't get twisted. He's not like really slow, but he knows he'll be able to read the game to know that I can't every attack. So to sit. Because when he did try to scamper forward sometimes, that was when he was accumulating yellow cards for Fulham, because then he was having to pull people back, make a foul or whatever. But take him in there. That's what this team needs, a destroyer. Because I'm telling you, if we had a destroyer in there, because Enzo, once he got himself in rhythm, was controlling the midfield. Not just his passing, but able to turn people on Sunday. With a destroyer in there, with some of the football that we played, then I'll be much more confident, much more comfortable watching games, because I know someone's in there to Just like prime
They're putting, yeah.
Fabinho, you get them put their foot in, spring the ball, because some of the attacking play was brilliant, man. And
Yeah.
I saw it coming because in the preseason friendlies, though the defending wasn't good enough, it's almost like it's complex simplicity. And you'll hear me say use that oxymoron in literally every radio show wherever I come on, right? It's the best one to use. McAllister and Soberside, diagonals to Salah. Like, it looks simple the way they do it, but it's not hitting. Salah controlled. There was even one on Sunday that he miscontrolled, and I know if he controlled it, he would have went through and probably finished like the disallowed goal. You get what I'm saying? And then we're rolling again, and then you can get confident. And with the way McAllister can pass, Soberside can pass, and both of them work hard as well, then we can start controlling games again. And then you know back before, like when we get them leads, we're not going to give it up. Now we score first, and you're not confident until they've got a second, and maybe in some states you're going to need that third goal, because they say with one comes two, and we can be caught now just like that when we're controlling the match. So
yeah,
hopefully they've got something up their sleeve, because I'm telling you, I'm worried. I'm very worried.
Me too.
2 weeks is not a long time.
No, and I feel like a lot of fans are just like, you know, you made that point earlier on in the show where you said there's a mixed reaction about this end of sign. So we've just got a comment here from King 93 Water. What do you think on Liverpool signing Wataru Endo from Stuttgart? So there is a split opinion in the fan base, because I think they've looked at the age, that profile where it's like he's too old. Like, what are we doing? To play in a Klopp system, we're buying a 30-year-old. From what I've seen in terms of stats and like clips here and there, he seems like, from what I know, he's a late bloomer as well, kind of like Palhinha, where he's 28, going on to 29, but he's in the same boat where they haven't used a lot of miles in terms of their career and stuff like that. So I feel like, look, it's probably not the signing we expected because there was no links surrounding it whatsoever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we do need experience in that midfield. We do have a young crop of players. So look, until he doesn't put that Liverpool shirt on, I'm going to support him. Do you understand?
It could be a really shrewd purchase.
Yeah,
it could be a really shrewd purchase, just to the fact of everything that's gone on before it.
Yeah, so it's like perception now, because we've been embarrassed from the club because of the biz with Casero, Lavio, so we're all scarred right now.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, fine, we didn't get those players. Hopefully, we get the courier first. We'll get this guy, that guy. We've just signed a random player from Germany. It's like, what's going on? But what we might not know is that he's one of two. Does that make sense? But it's just that his deal was a bit easier to complete because George has his links in Germany, so it's easy to kind of get that done.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, look, if this is the final signing, I am very concerned, because even if he does come out to be a decent player, I don't think it's enough. We need another centre mid, in my opinion. Yeah. A proper destroyer, like we've been saying. And with regards to George, like I've been going back and forth with people on Twitter. Like, for me, the guy just paid the release clause before yesterday, and he's just been a drinking buddy for Klopp, in my opinion. So he's got a deal done. He's probably vaping it up right now. He's got one deal done, which is fair, but he's got work to do. And my concern, even if we do sign another centre mid, let's say we do get like a Doucouré or Palhinha, I'm satisfied that's fine. That's a good kind of acquisition to the squad. Yeah. But I still feel like we need a centre back, in my opinion. I feel like we've missed the trick where, because we're deploying different systems. So I know we've kind of reverted back to the 4-3-3, but I feel like we played our best football playing that 3-2-2-3 system where we had a box midfield. I feel like the personnel that we have were quite suited to that system. So
I only like that midfield against, for instance, like the game we're going to have on Saturday against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Against the better teams, I think we need to have four at the back.
And that's the thing. So it could be just a thing in terms of our shape. So we can start off in a 4-3-3, but if we're more advanced in terms of our attacking, it can be where Trent can just be inverted, and it becomes that sort of 3-2-2-3 system. Yeah. So that's why, for me, I really wanted a left-sided centre back, because having that type of player gives you that sort of tactical flexibility where you can switch around those systems within a game, not even like per game. Within the game, you can turn into a back three. If we need to be a bit more compact, you can make it into a back four, having kind of like what City do. City play Ake as a left back. Yeah. So that right winger from the opposition, he's not going to get through him. Does that make sense? So
yeah.
For me, I'll be honest with you, I will say on record, I don't think we'll get a centre back. I feel like we're being a bit gun shy with regards to getting the right players at the right time. Hopefully, I'm wrong in that case.
But the thing is that look, if they just said they want a centre half, that's one thing. Like if you're gonna bait up a journalist, whoever may have asked, reporter may have asked, and that's come out, press release, whatever, right? But the fact they've said left-footed, everyone's gonna put on, because remember we were linked to Van der Ven before Tottenham were, and now he's at Tottenham, and I think what did they pay him? Was it 50 or just under 50 they paid for him?
Yeah, I think it was.
Right. So it's one of those ones where teams are going to think, okay, left-footed centre half and put the price up. Because I was thinking English terms, I was thinking if it's not Colwell, what are they going to try and get Max Kilman? Because Napoli bid for him last month and it got rejected. But Kilman just signed a new contract at Wolves. So I don't know what we're doing in that. But the fact that Endo can play centre back as well, either means that there will definitely be one more midfielder, and then Endo will be used at the back, or it's going to be Endo playing midfield inside the centre back. I don't know, but I hope we're getting two more. But with the limited time, I think we only might just end up getting one, which is going to annoy me. The forwards are fine. I'm fine with the forwards, and of course Harvey can play on the right if need be, because he played there when he was on loan at Blackburn, and he was really good there. Don't look lively when he came on, and I know he's going to get minutes in the Europa League as well and the cup games as well. So I think if those two purchases come in, I think we're going to be okay and do bits in cup competitions as well, and just get deeper in and just get the feel-good factor back around, man, because everyone is just like, everyone's nervous and pretentious right about now. Everyone's procrastinating because they don't know what. Thinking, you know what I'm saying? So, boy, but if this, look, you won't hear me say Klopp out, regardless of how hard times have got at time. But if this is what it's like with having more power, we need to revert back to how it was, into a similar regime to how it was a few years ago, because too many people are left. So something has happened behind the scenes. One day we'll find out, but even if just a little about it. But why all these people have left, I don't know. Julian Ward comes in, sorts the McAllister deal out. Like, not even there for long. I don't think Michael Edwards actually has a fixed club at the moment. So therefore, they need to sort out whatever issues were there and get him in. Realistically, even we won the league after we went anyway.
Yeah.
From when Buvac went out, look at the people that have left since then.
Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people. I hope we acquire someone that actually is a long-term person as well, not just, get George in for 3 months and then next year you got another drinking buddy. Like, I want it to be where someone has a long-term vision for the club.
Yeah.
That's what we need, but it is what it is. Just got another comment here from King Knight Free Water. Do you think the hijack of signings will eventually lead Klopp leaving Liverpool within the next 2-3 seasons?
It's a good question, because if we have I've been talking about this with my cousin Flex, because if we have a bad season, like for instance with the Sachado thing last Friday in the press conference, normally when they ask Klopp about another player, he says he won't talk about a player at another club. For him to actually say in the press conference that the fee has been agreed, you're thinking, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so that added to the embarrassment, because usually you would say, look, I don't know what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So everything just is a mess. It's like they're not talking to each other. It's like when the owners never showed Klopp just before, I can't remember who we played, but they never showed Klopp that they wanted part of the Super League. And then Klopp's been interviewed and Klopp's like, you not are informing me. They ain't told me nothing. You get what I'm saying? So it just seems to be miscommunication all over the place, and I don't know why the owners came down for the Chelsea game, to be honest. Remember, Henry wasn't even there when Gerrard played his last home game when we got slapped by Crystal Palace. What was that, 2015? So you have to look at that. What were you not down for, effectively? What were they here for? Is it because they wanted to go shopping in London or something like that? Like, well,
no, I think they came to snitch on Chelsea because they got hijacked. That's weird. They're like, we're here to complain. Like, we're here to file a report. They're like, no, it goes done, mate. You can't say anything. You know what I mean? Outrageous, man.
Oh man, you get what I'm saying. Look, I thank FSG for all that they've done since they come, but we was what an hour or two away from going into administration, and we probably wouldn't even be having this talk now, because if Liverpool drop down the divisions, your inspiration to do pods might not even be there. Right? So I'm sure we would have made it back up at some point in the 12 years since they've taken over from those damn Cowboys. But Klopp must be frustrated. But saying that as well, has to take part of the criticism, because you signed a new contract before we thought that you lot were even negotiating. So if you've extended these talks about the transfers that must have gone on, so if they're giving you the more power, we've got to blame you as well. As much as we love you for what you've done for the club, we've got to blame you as well for what's going on, because of the lack of control and the lack of communication that it seems is going on. There's no, we want to see the plan, we want to see the formula. So until we see it, obviously we're going to complain about it.
Yeah. Because there's been times where I feel like maybe it's kind of like speculation, but I feel like there were times where the funds were there for him to sign a midfielder. I'll probably say last summer, apparently we did have the funds to get a midfielder, and he just didn't want to get. I think it was sure money or nothing at the time. So that sort of thing where you can't be stubborn in that situation. Like if you didn't get your man, you need to pick up plan B, plan C.
The market's not always going to stay the same. It's not 2000. It's not the 2017-18 season where you held out for Van Dijk, and obviously it's worked because that guy's been tremendous for the club. And I must say, because I've been very critical of him in the last year or so, he was very alert against Chelsea. Very alert. Made some good clearances in there, and he did well. Ibu did well as well, but he stepped out once or twice, which even on the goal they scored, he did. And he needs to know you're not on the ball, Ibu, who you think you are. So sometimes just hoof it up the pitch and stop trying to and getting your legs tangled all over the place. But
let's get into the match preview then. So
let's go.
So Van Dijk, like you said, I think he was definitely one of the star performers. What did you think of our performance last week against Chelsea in general?
I thought we started off well. Easily the better team, I thought, up until they scored. But even up until they equalised. But even you saw one or two times that Nicholas Jackson was causing some issues with his pace and movement.
It's decent.
And he looked really good in pre-season for them as well. So did Nkunku, to a point where if Nkunku started that game, I don't think we're talking about the fact we drew the game right about now. But so until Enzo got going, I thought we did well. But once I got the equaliser, the shift in momentum was immense. And obviously Jackson drove one over. Like he had another chance. I think it might even have been before they equalised. And so he had a couple of chances. We should have had a penalty. In terms of the rule changes they've made, if this was an old school thing, I'll say that would have been a harsh penalty. But in terms of the rule, because after he even just come off his head, that it was in the area where someone could have hit the target. So I think a penalty should have been given there. But they were very much better in the second half. But up until they scored, we looked like we could score at any point. Great goal by us. The ball McAllister up to Salah to Diaz. But we have the ability, regardless of who's up front, to score goals week in, week out. But it's about keeping them out of the other end. We need to get back to some of those scrappy 1-0s that we used to get when we were challenging and when we won the title. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, I thought we did well, but then Chelsea showed with Enzo doing what he was doing. And remember, both teams showed, because at that stage we were overrunning their midfield. McAllister, I think, misplaced only one of his first 42 passes. Then there was a period where within 5-6 minutes he gave the ball away 3 or 4 times, and him and Enzo, he got fouled as well, and him and Enzo were getting into it, etc. But that's the type of composure that we need, like for the first hour from McAllister. This midfield needs, and to be able to manage games, as I was saying. So we did well. We showed signs that we're going to do really well attack-wise, but then when the midfield started getting overrun, you thought that, the only winner, when it got to like 70 minutes, you sat there and you thought the only winner here is Sacheno's agent. because both teams have shown they are dying out for him. And
it's true.
So in the end, I take the point. I said before the game we would have taken the point, we got the point. When you see how the game went, you're thinking that these guys could have been dead and buried before they even scored. Like Salah misplaced one. There was the effort when we worked it across, and then Salah took an extra touch when he should have shot it, and it got blocked. It was on, but it got blocked. And there was enough there, and Jota put one wide. Jota never had his best game, and then when he picked up the knock, knew it would be a case where he had to be taken off. Nunes almost won it. It got deflected. Nunes almost won it.
That was close. Even Van Dijk nearly scored.
Yeah, Van Dijk almost scored as well.
So he had chances.
Yeah, we had we're going to make chances every game, but because it's Bournemouth in regards to predicting the lineup for Saturday, because it's Bournemouth, I think the 11's going to stay the same, unless he puts Nunes in for Jota. I think it's going to be the same 11. If it was another game against a team who, like even a Brighton, but a team who finished above us last season, or a Brighton or Brentford, then I think he might have made a change in the midfield and maybe start Jones. But otherwise, I can much see it being the same 11, unless Nunes comes in for Jota. I think it's going to be the same team.
In terms of Bournemouth, so obviously they drew 1-1 last week. Solanke scored the equaliser there. In terms of last season, obviously we thrashed them 9-0, which was, I think, probably like in September this time last year kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
it might even have been the end of August, that game. Because I think before it, we'd only played Man United and Fulham before that game.
Yeah, so it's literally this time last year. And I think, and then we lost to them 1-0 later on in the season, which I think
Salah missed a penalty.
And from what I remember, it was their player Otara that had a phenomenal game.
Yeah, he was causing us problems on the right, man. Yeah.
So who would you say is the danger man? Would it be Otara and Solanke again, or do you feel like there's someone else that might cause us trouble this weekend?
Yeah, I don't know if that new boy that they bought, is it Smith? They bought someone from Bristol City, didn't they?
Oh, Alex Scott.
That's it, Alex Scott. That's the one. That's the one. I thought it was going to say Alex Smith. Alex Scott. I've not seen much of him, but I don't know whether he'll feature or not. But you got to look at those ones again. Solanke's a problem for anyone, and if we do push forward, he can get into spaces, and physically he can cause us trouble. So we have to watch out for him. But look, just in general, there's only been one game. Iraola looks like he's implementing his style rapidly, because they had a lot more passes than they usually have. But maybe it might have been some of the opposition that they faced during part of O'Neill's run. So we've got to be on job, because we might think they're going to come and they're just going to go direct, but they might come and try and knock it about. And we never had much position against Chelsea, and we're usually second in passes and dominant possession against 3/4 of the league. So this we might have to fix up, man. Without the destroyer in there, intercepted in that, they might come at Anfield and have a majority of the ball. So we need to be ready to counter attack if that's the case.
We do. It could literally be a banana skin. I know that sounds outrageous, second game in the season, but the way things are going for Liverpool, it could happen,
Who's the only team that beat us at home in the league last season? Leeds, who got relegated. So
I know.
You can't take these games for granted. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to go in our Liverpool WhatsApp group, and everyone's going to be like 4-0, 3-0. And I'm just get the 3 points. Might be another 3-2 like again when we played Forest last season, and we really struggled from long throws and set pieces against them as those guys. So
hopefully that's not the case. But what we'll come up with a combined lineup.
Combined. We're gonna do that. All right, cool. Let's go.
Let's do it. So first question: what formation do you think we'll deploy? Do you think it'll be a?
I'm going
4-3-3. 3-2-2-3. What would you go for? Like it could be what we want. It could be what we want, but if you can it's got to be what we want. But what we think Klopp might do as well at the same time. But let's go with what we want, basically.
In terms of what we want, I'd say 4-3-3.
Okay,
but as you're saying, because it's Bournemouth, though obviously we're showing here they should be underestimate them at their peril because they beat us last season. He might revert to the 3-2.
I think he will.
2-3 for this game, because we're at home as well, to get that extra creativity from Trent.
I think he will. I have a feeling he will. I think because it was Chelsea away fixture, we couldn't afford to play that formation. It had to be like we've got to be compact. We can't concede much. But I feel like with Bournemouth, the shackles might be off. I don't know. That's how I feel like Klopp might think going forward. I feel like this might be our formation we play at home more so than away games. So let's see how it goes. All right, so we'll do 3-2-2-3 for now. Goalkeeper, I don't feel like we need to debate in terms of who's going to start and go. Unless you're part of the Adrian fan club, if you've got something to tell me.
And the way it's going, Ozzie, he's going to be player of the season again, because without those couple of saves against Chelsea, they got the point, man.
Trust me, for me, he's one of the best goalkeepers in world football, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt.
And has been literally since he stepped foot at the club.
It is. Okay, so I think it's safe to say Van Dijk and Konate will be in this back three, so I'll place them in whilst I'm talking. Who would you play on the left-hand side?
I'll still keep Robbo there, because I think that he never had he had his worst season at Liverpool since he's been at Liverpool last season as well. But I just think that he wasn't protected well, because especially in the first half, Chelsea were really getting down that side, but he wasn't protected well. In the second half, he was a bit better. And what I've realised about him is that in terms of his confidence, is that when he's been overrun and overworked, then he starts to get more loose in terms of having the ball at his feet going forwards. And a couple of short passes come, and he doesn't necessarily bomb and get to the line because he's worried about he might get done the other way. So as is Bournemouth, though as I said it won't be an easy game, I think he'll still keep his place. But don't get twisted, when it gets closer to Europa, if we're playing one of these games, you're going to see more of Tsimikas.
In a back three, do you think? In a back three?
In a home game, not away from home or against better opposition. No, don't do.
Okay.
But we'll get his game unless we get this left-footed centre half. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what's crazy? So in preseason, what I kind of noticed was when we play this 3-2-3 formation. So when we have preseason games, the first half will predominantly be like the stronger lineup. The second half, you'd normally see Gomez and Matip play, and I feel like Tsimikas would play as well. But Tsimikas kind of played that inverted fullback, but coming from the left-hand side. So I don't feel like he'll actually start in a back three. I don't know what you think of that. Because for me, I don't feel like he has the capability of playing that. And I have a feeling as well that if we don't sign a centre-back this window, I think Kwanzaa will actually be one of our options going forward. I don't think we'll loan him out. And he looked, to be fair, he looked decent, but obviously he's a young kid. So it's a bit too much to throw in. Even last week, so when I did my match preview for the Liverpool-Chelsea game, I actually placed Gomez on the left side of the back three because I went in terms of form, in terms of who's had the better preseason, in terms of Robertson. Gomez, for me, Robertson has been quite shocking. Gomez has looked better, I guess. But you make a good point in the Chelsea-Liverpool game because I felt like Robertson was exposed far too many times.
Far too much, and that's the problem, as you've been saying, without that holding mid, because McAllister and Somerset have got good work rate and they're going to stick their foot in. But McAllister's better as an 8 or 10 rather than as a 6, though he played there once or twice for Brighton, right? So with Somerset's work rate as well, but he was getting worked too much, Robbo. And with better protection in there, then you'll see him flying forward, getting to the line and putting the tackles in and putting in the shifts that you usually get. But the team is just so unhinged at the moment. The cohesiveness just isn't there. And with 2 new men in the starting lineup, and even Diaz has not started many games since returning from injury going back to last season, you're going to see certain things. But Diaz looks really lively because of the way he plays, but you need to do a bit more going back.
Yes. I'm glad you made that point because that is one area that I've been saying, I think since he's even joined, that as great as he's going forward, he has to put in a shift in terms of helping out the midfield and helping out the fullback as well, which is Robertson, because I don't want to make comparisons, but it is what it is. But when we had Mane, he would do that shift. He would be that guy that helps out with Robbo as well, and then he would just go full pace up top as well. Diaz needs to add that to his game. It's not a game where you can afford to just go up top and stay there. You're not a main striker, you're a winger, so you still got to come back, do your defensive duties as well. But I feel like that's the area he's probably still, he's not really had a full season at Liverpool. When he first came, he came in Jan, and last season he was out
He
for
got
half a season
injured,
as well.
for 6 months.
For 6 months. So preseason wise, I think he's looked good. So I'm hoping that is something that he can add to his game going forward. Now, the midfield. I don't know if Endo's been announced, but
if he's announced tomorrow, he'll be on the bench. Now he'll train with them.
I'm desperate.
He'll be on the. He'll be.
If he gets signed today or tomorrow, would you play him? Because obviously, I think there's a deadline in terms of, I think tomorrow is the deadline to register your players.
The cut off. I think by midday or 1 p.m. So I don't think it will be done. I don't think it will be done by then. But
that's really okay. In that case, all right. We'll give Endo, a bit of time to settle himself into Liverpool. So Thiago's back in training.
Yeah.
Babs, I know, has done light training, but I feel like out of the two, Thiago is in more contention to actually start or play in the game.
Before we even consider who the other one is, put Trent in there immediately.
All right, let's do that right now.
Before we even consider who the other.
Also, I just realized as well, I don't know if it's true. So if you're in the comments, let us know. I heard that Curtis Jones might be injured.
Oh God, not again.
So, but they haven't said, it feels like something like he got a little injury in training where he had to be taken off. So I don't know. So let's go on the basis that he's available. Who would you start alongside Trent as I add him in?
It's going to have to be, because obviously you'd think, though Iraola has shown he wants them to pass the ball more.
Yeah.
I still think that we will edge the possession battle. So in that case, McAllister.
Same back, same double pivot then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the advance.
If Jones is injured, you never know.
You never know.
Yeah,
it's true.
Him and Harvey looked lively when they came on still.
So this is the big one for me. So in terms of advanced eights, who would you play? Because I don't think Gakpo did a great job personally. I feel like he's a great attacker in terms of the false nine. Yeah. People think it's the same role, playing a false nine and advanced eight. It's actually not, because when you're playing a false nine, you're still an attacking player, but you tend to drop deep to get the ball. Whereas 8, you've got to be 360 in terms of your awareness. You've got to do the defensive duty, the attacking play as well.
Wing mirrors, as they call it. You have the wing mirrors, man. Yeah, check that blind spot, baby.
Yeah, and there's no harm in saying that he doesn't have it in his locker. He's not that type of player. So
he's the victim. He's the victim here of our poor recruitment.
Yeah,
man, come in January and score 7 times, and you're playing him deeper because you've not restructured your midfield. You've not replenished properly after selling Fabinho, Henderson, and then obviously Ox Cater and Cater and Milner have gone as well. You've not, and you know what hurt me as well about Saturday? Milner's playing right back for Brighton, busting it up against Luton. We're sitting here thinking, "Oh, we're gonna buy it." You get what I'm saying? So,
damn. So this was my question, because Gakpo for me didn't have a great game. So Bosley, I was impressed. Obviously, I don't think he had like a 10 out of 10 performance, but he showed glimpses of his talent. I feel like the more games he gets under his belt, we're going to see a top player this season.
Put him in on the left of those 2 8s.
So who would you play on the right?
This is the thing. As I was saying, because I think you'll probably say the same, probably be Gakpo again. But why not let? Why not let? I was going to say why not let Jones, but if he's injured, then no. So if that's the case, then it would have to be Harvey. So
I'd actually play Harvey, you know.
Yeah, so if it was Harvey, then what? That would be him on. That would be Soboslai on the right, then, isn't it? If Harvey is in.
But with Soboslai, I feel like he can play left or right.
Left or right. He played left against us for Salzburg, didn't he?
Yeah. So he can interchange as well, which actually might be a good thing. It might confuse the opposition where both of the advanced eights are just going
can change sides. Yeah, so then when we get that prime Robbo and Trent changing sides and that as well, teams are going to get. They're going to get baffled, bro.
You know, so Should we put in Elliot? Is that the player that we think
Yeah,
should
let's
start?
go. As we go with the 3-2-3, let's put Harvey in there. I mean,
Let's put Harvey in there. I feel like he deserves a start. And to be fair, I do remember when we beat them 9-0, he had a great game as well. So he might like,
scored a banger.
yeah, he might like to pop a cherry again against Bournemouth going forward. So front three. Oh, Salah,
Salah Defo, yeah, Salah
Defo.
Defo.
So we don't need to have a debate about that one.
Yeah.
Up top.
The other two are the problem. I think because of their physicality, it might make sense to put Nunes in, but I'm gonna go Diaz and Gakpo.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but because of the fact of that he looked lively when he came on, just like Jones and Fington as well, it would probably make sense to put Nunes in.
I would go for Nunes, you know.
Yeah, but I just think Cody in left where he was, apparently because of his height, he was, when he was much younger, he was a centre forward. So him in the false nine or on the left, I think Cody would do damage against
let's put him in there.
Bournemouth. And also as well, I'm trying to put the energy out there, the telekinesis. I'm trying to put out the telekinetic powers out there because he's in my FPL team.
Is he? Okay. In terms of mine, for who have I got? So I've got Salah. In terms of Liverpool player, I've got Salah.
Yeah.
I actually got Szoboszlai in my FPL, and I've got Trent.
I've got Trent too, but whenever I have Trent, he never gets to double figure hauls. And as soon as I sell him, then he gets 2 assists or something. You get me? So, you know what I mean? I always go from him to Robbo to save money because Robbo is much cheaper. So that 1.5 mil allows me to replenish the whole team, man.
I know, but Robertson scarred me last season. He had a lot of shocking games, and he wasn't notching up any points in FPL as well.
Hood though. That's why probably Van Dijk's the best offer, because obviously, in terms of the defenders, because he's cheaper than Trent, and you know there's going to be a couple headers from set pieces, might even be 1 or 2 assists as well. So
the
passes that he accumulates as well can sometimes make him a factor in the bonus point system. So.
No, fair play. Guys, let us know in the comments, what do you think of our lineup? Is it the lineup that you think Klopp will play as well? Let us know. We'll see. I feel like it's a strong lineup. I feel like it will be close to what we play. So in terms of predictions, you were saying that in your group chat you might get 4-0, 5-0.
No, not me. The others in there. The other nutters in there. Yeah, in the group chat. Not me. I'm a pessimist, bro.
Not you, your group chat. So what score prediction are you going for this game?
I don't know if I can trust us to keep a clean sheet at the moment, so I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1, okay. I'm going for 2-0.
2-0, yeah?
I don't think we're going to be like adventurous the way we'd want it to be.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more confident that we'll keep a clean sheet based on Van Dijk's performance. I feel like giving him the armband, I feel like he's going to take on that captaincy with pride. Yeah. And I feel like it might even up the levels in terms of his performance. So I feel like because he's got that weight on his shoulder now, I feel like he's got to perform and he's got to sort of be that captain wherever he's followed by example as well in terms of how he performs. So I'm going for 2-0. So guys, let us know in the comments what prediction you're going for. You know, you might get 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. We beat them 9-0 last year, so you never know. You might get all kinds of predictions here. But yeah, so that's a wrap up for tonight. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to King 93 Water for your comments there. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Dubul Dee, platform is yours. Please let everyone know where to follow you and how to get in touch with you as well.
Yeah, at Dubul Dee. That's DUBULDEE is my individual Twitter. And I am part of the D&D Football Factory, and we are at DD Footy Factory _ on Twitter, and on Instagram as well. And we sometimes podcast, but you can catch us in our regular slot at 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings on Top FM 95.5 FM. That's 10 a.m. Saturday mornings on Top FM 95.5 FM. If you're not in London, then probably best to listen to it on whatever app you have for radio. So whether that be TuneIn or Simple Radio, but actually as well, there is an On Top app as well. So download the On Top FM app and listen to it at any time. But make sure you listen on the Saturday morning. You get me? So yeah, that's it. That's it.
No, appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you want some FPL tips, I think Double D's your guy as well. You know, so
Yeah, we've got FPL War on the Shoot the Defense on the No Chofters network as well. You need to come and make an appearance on
yeah,
this.
man.
Though. And
Give me a
obviously,
shout.
my co-host is obviously a Newcastle fan. So when you wanted
Is
to,
he?
when
Okay.
we play Newcastle, but the other co-host as well, Sam's a Liverpool fan. So if you want any of them on, just let me know.
Yeah, man.
I'll
Definitely.
sort that out for you, brother.
We'll do a match preview, all of us on the same show. I think that'll be great. So
yeah.
well, I think when we play Newcastle, I'm not even sure when we play them, to be fair. But when we do, we
Yeah.
can definitely chop that up and get that done. But Double D, thank you as always for coming on the show. Appreciate your time
Anytime,
today.
bro.
So everyone, take care, stay safe. Hopefully we get a Liverpool win, and we'll see you all very soon. Good night.
Come on.